Hi everyone, my name is Anna. I'm a librarian, a writer, and a crafter, and I'm also new to Authortube, so I've decided to do the Authortube Newbie tag. The first question is, what is your book's pitch? And here it is. 16-year-old Eliza knows enough about life to avoid trouble and keep her strange abilities a secret. But when she gets an invitation she cannot refuse, she discovers a world of magic, camaraderie, and lies. Now it's up to her to decide who to trust and who to betray in an effort to stop the power that seeps the magic away, and if she even wants this power stopped. After all, her own magic is only getting stronger. The second question is, if you were a book, how would you pitch yourself? And honestly, I don't have an answer to this question. It's complicated. There would definitely be something about overcoming the innate character flaw that stems from childhood, that's deep-seated, deep-rooted, and it has to do with procrastination and other vices that stem from somewhere deep, some insecurity, some lack of belief in yourself. And one of the books that really spoke to me in terms of my writing journey is The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. I reread this book often when I need some faith. And I just love how it describes this battle between your higher self that wants to accomplish things, that calls you to certain higher achievements, and the resistance with a capital R, that power that doesn't want you to achieve, that power that wants you to give up, that power that whispers in your ear saying, you are not worth it, you cannot do it, who do you think you are? So that could be a book that can really relate to my writer's journey and could be a pitch, and hopefully the ending is happy in a way that I am able to overcome this resistance. The third question is, what do you usually write? And I am a new writer, so I cannot say I usually write this type of thing, but this book that I'm currently writing has been a project for 10 years or so, and it went through multiple iterations. There were different characters I tried as the main character, and eventually all of them just kind of lost their appeal to me, and I could not really see this project through. But it has always been a fantasy project, that's for sure. So it has been middle grade in a couple of iterations, and in this iteration it's YA, and I finally picked a character, a side character, who I really care for. I did write a short story a couple of years ago. It was more like magical realism, and it was actually based on a real life story that happened to me. So I cannot really say I write anything else other than fantasy at this point. Question number 4 is, what is something you will never write? And this is perfect because I just thought about something. So here's the thing. When I started hearing the word romantasy, I was curious, and I thought, well, I'm writing fantasy and there's a romance element in it, so maybe that's romantasy. And then I read some true romantasy and I realized, no, I'm definitely not writing a romantasy. Romance books in general are not something I would like to write, because the tropes in them, the way people are described and the way their body parts are described and the sex scenes are described, is just not something that I can imagine myself writing, and not something that I personally enjoy reading either. So probably my answer is going to be romance. Question number 5 is, what is your goal for this channel? And my main goal is to find people, like-minded people, writers, to share the journey with. And I have to say, even though I just recently started, I already found a couple of people like that. One of them is Gabby, who I got this tag information from, and there's another person who we also chat with. So for me, because writing is such a solitary thing, I really want to become a part of this community and share the process of writing a book and editing a book and then looking for an agent and looking for a publisher. So I'm really looking forward to that. Sixth question is, what made you want to start writing? And honestly, I cannot even pinpoint that. Writing was always something I felt pretty confident about. So I'm from Russia. I had this teacher in school who was teaching Russian language and literature. And so she would say that whenever she gets my work, she can always tell it's me. even if my name is not on the work. She said I had a special style that she could recognize, and it just stuck with me. I remembered that. And also just my love for books. Obviously, going to the library was the best time of the day, the best time of the week. And reading the books and getting lost in them and escaping difficult situations was something I really appreciated. And if I look deep down, that's gotta be it. Helping somebody escape real life, even if for a little bit. I'm a kind of a person who doesn't have to write, because I can live my life and never write, probably, but I feel much more joyful, much more at peace, much more satisfied with myself and the world when I am writing. Question number 7 is, what is your publishing path? I'd like to get traditionally published one day, but obviously I'm in the very beginning of this process, so if things don't go the way I planned, maybe I will look for other paths, but hopefully it's gonna be traditional publishing. Question number 8, what content will you bring to Authortube? So I've already posted some writing vlogs. I did a challenge instead of National Novel Writing Month, where I was trying to write every day. It did not happen for every single day of the challenge, but I did write quite a good number of words for me, because I'm kind of a slower writer. So writing vlogs sometimes, maybe like just life updates and stuff. I'm also posting art videos because I love to do art as a hobby, and honestly, I think creativity comes in so many ways, and if you're doing more than one type of creative thing, why not combine it all and just share whatever you love? Like, this is all creativity, and so I enjoy posting different types of content. And then also sometimes maybe I'll talk about libraries, since that's my job, something I can confidently speak about. I do have one video about how to get a library job, but in the future I would be really curious to maybe look deeper into fiction and into writing fiction. I read a lot of books on trade, and I feel like when you're teaching somebody, when you are relaying the information, you are learning it better yourself. So maybe reading these books and summarizing them, sharing these approaches and thoughts could be helpful for me as well as for other people. Another thing I would love to do is just to get more educated on American literature in general, and maybe analyze it from the point of view of a writer and a reader. So stuff like that. Question number 9 is, what is your biggest writing struggle? And my biggest writing struggle is that I don't have enough patience, and that sometimes I give up when things get hard. So it's very important, if you want to be a writer, to overcome this. And that is why the War of Art really resonated with me. But I also get these ideas from different authors and different sources. I remember when I watched Neil Gaiman's masterclass, he talked about this idea of that every pencil has 1,000 bad drawings in it, and you need to get them out before you can get something good out of it. So that is one iteration of that. But he also talked about finishing the books you write, and that you are learning something from finishing the book, even if it's bad. And he said that he has an attic full of unfinished projects and stuff, but he only started growing as a writer when he learned how to finish his books. And then another idea, I don't remember where I got this from. If you start writing a book, you start from, imagine a city, and there's a bus stop in the middle of it. So when you start writing a book, you get on this bus and you start moving somewhere, right? And even if it's different books, completely different stories, completely different bus routes, in the beginning, you will be going through the city. So it will always be the city. And if you always abandon your projects before you get out of the city, metaphorically speaking, you will never leave the city. You will be stuck there. So the idea was, don't hop buses, stay on the bus. And this is something I try to tell myself when I feel like hop into another bus. Question number 10 is, what is your best writing skill? Honestly, I haven't written enough to have feedback on that. So far from my writers group, people say they are interested, they find my characters fascinating, they're curious about them, They find some aspects very realistic, and they believe that this character, the character is well-rounded and they believe in it. So maybe that is one thing. Another thing that I really would love to develop into my best writing skill is the voice, because my favorite books have a very specific type of a voice. So I'm drawn to that voice because this voice sounds like me. It speaks to my soul. And I think writing something in a voice like that would be amazing. I would love for that to be my best writing skill. Question number 11, what is your biggest AuthorTube question? I guess I'd be curious to hear who you guys are watching, which authors. I am only regularly watching one author, and that's Lindsay Puckett. I love her AuthorTube because I love her vibes and stuff. I do also, when I'm looking for information on how to handle a specific part in the writing process, I look up Alexa Dunn's videos, but really nobody else. Tell me who you're watching. Who are big names on AuthorTube, people I should definitely watch? Maybe people you know that have a similar vibe to Lindsay, because that's something I really enjoy. Share your favorites. Question number 12 is, are you looking for new connections, writing buddies, CPs, beta readers, etc.? I definitely am looking for new connections. I don't know if I'm looking for any of these specific roles yet, like beta readers and stuff, just because I don't have anything I'm ready to share yet. But in the future, yeah, for sure. And finally, question number 13 is, what are you most excited for? I'm very excited to meet all of you, to document the process and the progress of my book. It would be a dream to one day get published and then look back on that, on those initial stages, and be like, wow, I've come all this way, and this is how it started, and this is how it's going. So I'm excited for that. And hopefully to build a community where people are kind to each other, where people support each other, because writing is not easy, and it's something that a lot of us are doing in addition to our regular life, to our jobs, to our families. Some of us have some illnesses that are difficult to overcome to write. So I really want to build a space that's supportive and loving and full of good vibes and good energy. So this is my Authortube Newbie tag. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know who you like to watch on Authortube, and just say hi. Let me know if you have a similar video that I can watch and learn about you, and subscribe, and let's stay in touch.